Celebrating 5 years since the opening of Sprint Center. But might the downtown arena have to change its name with the big news that Japanese wireless carrier SoftBank is now making a bid to buy Sprint? That's the top business story of the week. We have the latest from the campaign trail and take a look at some of the statewide ballot issues you'll be deciding this November, including a massive increase in the cigarette tax in Missouri, plus the story that brings more national attention to our metro than any other this week. Hello, I'm Nick Haynes. Good to have you with us again on the program that goes beyond the soundbite and takes you behind the headlines, making news in Kansas City, reviewing the week's top local headlines in 26 minutes or less. The Kansas City Star's chief political correspondent and the host of Up to Date on KCUR-FM, Steve Kraske, the executive editor of Ingram's magazine, Jack Cashel, the Star's nationally syndicated columnist, Mary Sanchez, and Star reporter, columnist, and political blogger, Dave Helling. Now, 5 years ago this week, the Sprint Center opened. There were lots of concerns expressed on this program at the time that no one would ever be able to find a parking spot. People would shoot out all the windows, and it could never survive without an anchor tenant. 5 years on, what's the verdict, Jack Cashel?
Well, it seems to have actually centered Kansas City back downtown. And without that, I don't think Kansas City would have recentered. It's doing better than people expected without an anchor tenant. The absence of an anchor tenant, though, calls out for a problem that Kansas City has going forward, and which was exacerbated this past week. We'll talk about this later by the outcome of the Chiefs game last Sunday. And that is, we're beginning to be thought of as a loser's town. And, you know, I've been here a while. It's becoming almost...
How could that possibly be the case, given the records of these teams in recent days? But, you know, what's amazing to me in the wake of the 5th-year anniversary is there are some experts now, Nick, who are saying very publicly that, hey, an anchor tenant would hurt the Sprint Center. It would sort of drag down the fortunes of the place because the center has found a way to sort of occupy itself so many nights of the year without an anchor tenant. And a lot of sports franchise expert type people say that, hey, Kansas City already has a number of professional teams it can't support anymore. It would be a mistake for Sprint to grab an anchor tenant, one more franchise sports team right now.
But there were a lot of naysayers at the time that it wasn't necessarily all going to work out the way they thought it was. But 5 years on, Mary?
I think it's absolutely worked out, and actually Kansas City is a winning town if you are a fan of KC Sporting, as I am. Right. The team is doing wonderful, and they have their own stadium across the state line. But no, I mean, it's great. It's wonderful. I can remember even, you know, all the parking concerns. People used to park clear on the other side of 14th Street and walk over across the bridge thinking that there wouldn't be parking. But now, you know, people know where to go. They know where to park. It's filled up without the anchor tenant. I think it's a better deal for Kansas City because we've shown how we can fill that space with a lot of diverse activities. And, you know, it's working.
Are you going to be continuing with wreaths and accolades, et cetera, Dave Helling?
Well, yes, for the first 5 years, I think primarily, Nick, because of the operation of Sprint Arena by AEG, which has done an incredibly good job in attracting first-rate, you know, acts to the Sprint Center, which, let's face it, is kind of a Spartan environment. It isn't opulent by any means. They've been able to make it a go of it, actually turn money back over to the city, which is important. The parking problems, as Mary and everyone else has suggested, aren't as big as others had thought. But the next 5 years will be critical in a couple of ways. First of all, you're already hearing about problems or concerns with maintenance and upkeep and repairs. That's coming. And so, you know, you're going to have to figure out a way to sort of pay for that. And then we still haven't figured out what to do with Kemper Arena or in some ways Municipal Auditorium. That remains a challenge for City Hall because a lot of the money they're making from Sprint actually goes to keep the lights on at Kemper Arena, and I think that's a problem. And really, that question came up during the campaign for Sprint Center, and it still hasn't really been answered. What do we do with Kemper?
We had some viewers
so with
asking
those things
us,
in mind, I think the rest of it's been very
Some
well.
viewers asking us in the past week, why couldn't they have put the IKEA store at Kemper Arena? Wouldn't that have been a fabulous place to put it? Was there ever a consideration of that Kansas City, Missouri would have been, by the way, competing for this IKEA store?
Yes. Actually, the IKEA people spent a lot of time looking at the Bannister Mall site, which, of course, you know, went away when they were going to build the soccer stadium and some other stuff out there. But I think the determination was the Kansas site was closer to the highway that they thought would be most convenient for customers coming from other parts of the 4 or 5 state region. So that's why they ended up in Marion.
You know, Dave mentions Kemper Arena and what a problem that still is for the city. You get the sense, Nick, that the city management type people want it to go away. The American Royal people want to keep it. There are others who say, hey, it's an iconic structure the way it is right now. We've got to keep it that way. The city of Kansas City is still paying a couple $1,000,000 a year for past improvements in the Kemper district down there, and will be for 3 or 4 more years. So it's a heck of a problem for the city.
The Kemper family pushing, though, for the smaller facility. They want to put some money towards it, but want the city to help with some public funding to help make a smaller facility work there, Jack.
Right, and that's, I think, the bottom line here is the public funding of all of these entities. You know, we have a lot of publicly funded entities. I literally haven't seen the finance sheets on these. I don't know that Sprint Center is actually making money or whether it seems to be doing better, but I don't know how much longer we can afford to maintain all of these facilities. And it gets back to what I was talking about earlier, because I'm doing this documentary on basketball. I did not know that Kansas City was the center of the basketball world up until the 60s. You know, every other NCAA championship was held here. And that is a kind of glory that is faded, and I think we need to be a little more strategic in how we regain our centrality to the whole national conversation.
Well, Kemper is doing, you know, not doing well enough that it's still costing the city enough money. The Sprint Center is turning over money to the city. We know that, so there's some track record here of success. But again, you really get the impression that city management wants to get rid of Kemper and move on.
Back to Sprint Center. Might it soon need to be renamed? Big headlines this week originating with the Wall Street Journal that Sprint may be bought by Japan's 3rd largest wireless carrier, SoftBank. Thus, could we be heading for SoftBank Arena in Kansas City, or Sprint Soft? What do you think? Is that possible, Jack?
Well, you know, Sprint has this in its favor. It is the best of the brand names of all of the various competitive telecommunications giants. SoftBank is not one of the better ones. And plus, I mean, if you read the Wall Street Journal stuff, it's a huge debt issue here. They have to raise. They're looking for $23 billion to buy Sprint, which is not necessarily a big cash cow in itself.
You don't write checks for that kind of money.
Yeah.
You know, I've been hosting this program for like 15 years, and I think we've done just as many in those 15 years as 15 years worth of programs about buyouts of Sprint in that time. Are we to take this one seriously?
I think that there is clearly ferment in the telecommunications industry, not just with Sprint, but with all of the providers, consolidations, challenges. You know, Google Fiber, I went through their office this week. It's clear that, you know, some methods of communications that they're pursuing might challenge phone usage at some point. So, yes, I think this is a serious effort. It puts Sprint in play potentially for other suitors. But, you know, Nick, all 20th century technologies, phones, newspapers, broadcast TV, communication technologies are under some pressure. And so I think it may be 5, 10, 20 years before that all shakes out and we have a better picture of what that industry looks like in America and how Sprint fits into that. So my guess is we'll be talking about this for some time.
Public television may be one of the few that isn't under pressure, Mary.
Yes.
But,
Actually, I think it is.
oh, it is, okay. We head now to local political news this week. Republican United States Senate candidate Todd Akin says his campaign has now passed the $1 million mark in online fundraising, and with less than a month to go before Election Day, there's reports that the National Republican Senatorial Committee may be ready to get back in the race after swearing a month ago they'd never support Akin. So what has changed?
I think they think Akin can win. And it's, you know, what we see, I was driving up Ward Parkway yesterday, and I saw one, and this is classic. There's a house, big house, 6 Romney Ryan signs and a Claire McCaskill sign. And what's happened in the Republican side, this has always existed, and using my own ethnic heritage as a metaphor, is you have the lace curtain right and the shanty right. Now, the shanty right are all together for Todd Akin, but the lace curtain right are more concerned about what people will say about them at the next cocktail party. So, unfortunately, the Senate Republican Committee is a lace curtain committee. They will need some prodding to get back involved.
Yeah, I wrote a little thing on our blog. They put out a press release on Todd Akin's behalf against Claire McCaskill on this issue of her husband's receipt of some stimulus money for his businesses, which suggests they have at least some desire to get back in, but certainly not on television yet, Nick. And I did some back of the envelope things yesterday. Since the primary, third parties, independent parties have put about $2.7 million in the race on the McCaskill side. On the Akin side, the number is about 400,000. That's a 6-to-1 ratio for McCaskill. That is really the political damage from the rape remark, because when you don't have the NRSC, you don't have American Crossroads, other groups getting in, it's hard for him to keep up with that third-party money she's getting.
Now, one of the strategies for Akin has been to try and get the conversation off of abortion and onto Claire McCaskill's shortcomings. Has he found it with the latest campaign ad, which he started to run this week, in which he accuses the incumbent senator and her kin of personally profiting, he says, from millions in federal subsidies?
The partnerships owned by McCaskill's family received over $1 million in stimulus spending. Now, a new scandal. McCaskill's family pocketed $40 million in federal subsidies. $40 million of our money. Corrupt Claire. The moment her hand came off the Bible, it went into our pockets.
All right, if we were to truth check this ad then, Steve, what rating would this be getting?
Well, middle of the pack at best, Nick. I mean, Claire McCaskill and her husband did not put $40 million into their collective pockets as a result of federal subsidies. There's a question whether they put any of that money in their pocket off the federal subsidies that Joe Shepard's businesses get. McCaskill's campaign says not a nickel of that money went into our pockets. Akin's camp says, hey, wait a minute, we've looked at your disclosure forms and there's some indication you've received some money from these companies. We're talking about federal subsidy dollars that are paid to developers to make up the difference between what a renter should be paying, a poorer renter should be paying for an apartment, and what they can afford. There's a subsidy that fills that gap. That's what this $40 million goes toward. McCaskill's camp points out that federal law says you can't stick any of that money in your pocket, and they say they've lived by that rule. And Akin's camp says no, the records seem to indicate there's some money going into her pocket as a result.
Any other response on that particular ad, Mary?
It's just, you know, it's too convoluted once people really understand it, as Steve very well just explained, for people to really latch on to that as an issue.
But it does take away, though, from, again, just getting away from the abortion issue. It is taking away from that issue, putting it back onto Claire McCaskill, which you, Dave, said was the big issue. He needs to be focusing it away from that.
No question. And now, frankly, again, I'm not in the business of advising Todd Akin, but I think the Claire McCaskill's property tax problems on her airplane are more understandable. But Todd Akin's problem, Nick, is not that ad. It's that he doesn't, as a political matter, have the money to put that ad on television. That's the problem that his campaign has. He's going to be outspent 7-8 to 1 in the closing weeks. Unless he can make that case more visibly with the public, he'll still struggle.
Is that continuing to be his problem then, money?
Oh, yeah, money is always a problem with money, but buying TV commercials is not nearly as influential a vote changer as it was even 10 years ago, because there's so many other media of exchange right now. And but it is a problem, and yet I think what McCaskill has, of course, is the classic Geraldine Ferraro problem. You have a husband who makes a lot of money in strange ways, and you've got to account for it. And especially when you set up this making envy a virtue for the last couple of years, as her party has done, you know, when you're sitting there making $40 million, you're taking in $40 million from the federal government, one way or another, it's not good for you. It has the hypocrisy meter shaking a little bit.
Well, Claire McCaskill also wants to maintain the abortion issue, keep that front and center. She has her own series of ads going on right now on that issue, featuring Republican women.
I'm a Republican and a pro-life mother and a rape survivor. In the hospital, I was offered emergency contraception. Because of my personal beliefs, I declined. Here's what else I believe. No woman should be denied that choice. What Todd Akin said is offensive, but what he believes is worse. He would criminalize emergency contraception. I've never voted for Claire McCaskill, but because of Todd Akin, I will now.
Okay, does this change any minds, though?
No. No, I mean, the pro-life community is 100% behind Todd Akin. That's the pro-life community and Tea Party is his base right now. That ad is,
But the ad, just so we're clear, isn't really aimed at pro-life and Tea Party. It's aimed at suburban women voters.
Mary? And that independent, and it does, I thought they were very good ads because
Yes.
it really has a woman speaking for women, and she's speaking very specifically from a viewpoint that you don't always hear. I think it was a very well done ad. I kind of do question, though, how far she can continue to push this legitimate rape issue. There needs to be other things within Claire's campaign here to put her out there as a candidate. So I really, I thought it was a good ad, but enough.
Yes, she's done enough of the abortion issue. Steve?
Well, the polls suggest that, at this point, she's still up by half a dozen points or so as we hit this really crucial point of the campaign.
Well, many voters may not be aware that there are, beyond this race, lots of other things going on, including a slew of ballot questions they are being asked to consider this November in the Show Me State. Among them, a massive increase in Missouri's lowest in the nation tobacco tax. The initiative would raise the state tax on a pack of cigarettes from 17 cents to 90 cents. The proposal is projected to generate between $283 million to $423 million annually. But where would the money go?
Money's going to go to Kansas, it's going to go to Illinois, it's going to Iowa, it's going to go to Nebraska.
Oh, my notes didn't say that, Jack, but thank you for the clarification on that.
No, this is
Yes.
a great growth business for Kansas City now because all the people from out of state come here to buy cigarettes. That won't happen anymore.
All right, that is one argument. Where do the proponents say the money would go,
The
Steve?
other argument is the money will go to public schools, higher education, and it'll go to helping to help people quit smoking. Now, the big argument with these things always is, lawmakers in Jeff City sit back and say, well, hey, millions of more dollars coming in as a result of this tax. If it passes, will we pull back how much money we're appropriating to schools going forward and use that money for other programs that so desperately need the money? That argument will begin in January if indeed this tax passes.
But this has been on the ballot twice before. We've had this increase in the tobacco tax come up twice before, in fact, in the state of Missouri. It has failed. What is different about this particular tax election, Mary?
Well, finally, I think people have heard it over and over enough, but then there's also the issue that the tobacco companies aren't fighting it like they have in the past. Because there's also a clause in there somehow that it takes back the, it's more the competitive edge, that there's a different rate for some of these off brands. So it evens the playing field that way. And they're just not fighting it as much. The other thing is, I think, society is shifting more and more on the issue of smoking. You can't go out anymore and be able to just light up in a restaurant.
Yeah,
and I think that's pushing it a little bit too.
On the other hand, smoking remains popular in Missouri, particularly in the southeastern corner of the state where health problems are actually fairly high. And the resistance to any tax increase there, and frankly statewide, Nick, is pretty strong. We're in the middle of a recession. Anything that looks like a tax increase, even on cigarettes, can be a tough sell. And then Jay Nixon, the governor, who might arguably be the one person who could really sell this, is not selling this at all.
He says he won't endorse the measure.
And won't really talk about it. And who could theoretically use the revenue it brings in. I think it's dicey. I think it's still 50-50 at best.
Now, Jack, you mentioned at the beginning it's going to go to other states, but we should point out in Kansas, the cigarette tax is 79 cents a pack, so this would actually take it well above the Kansas tax rate on a packet of cigarettes.
Right. So what happens now is everyone in Kansas who smokes comes to Missouri to buy their cigarettes. No one talks about this, but it's fairly transparent. They buy their gasoline here, too. That'll go back the other way. They won't bother coming over anymore. So there's the money that will be gained, clearly, will go to places, especially states like Kansas and Illinois. Now, there will be extra revenue in Missouri, but not enough to make a difference.
That's a fair point. The other ancillary sort of issue out there is that if this costs people more money to smoke, fewer people will smoke. And in the long run, that will save the state of Missouri tens of millions of dollars in Medicaid, Medicare expenses, because the state no longer has to treat people who become sick as a result of smoking-related illnesses. It's a wild card issue in this whole thing, but it's something to consider as well.
Well, as President Obama and Mitt Romney battled one another over health care last week in the first presidential debate, you may not be aware that if you live in Missouri, you will be deciding the issue of health care on the ballot this November as well. If approved by you, Proposition E would block the governor or any Missouri agency from creating a so-called state health exchange without approval from voters or the legislature. Mary, what's the purpose of this?
Anybody? What's the purpose of this?
The purpose is to get conservatives and Republicans to the polls. I mean, it was put on the ballot primarily because the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, which some people call Obamacare.
Including Obama.
Including Obama.
And he says he likes the term.
Frankly,
Yes.
I hope we can go with Obamacare. It makes my writing easier. It's very unpopular. It's very unpopular in the state of Missouri. The first referendum, which involved the individual mandate, which was a non-binding referendum, nevertheless, 71% of voters said, hey, let's get rid of the individual mandate. So Republicans put it on the ballot in a general election year to try and get more Republicans and conservatives to the polls because, frankly, if this passes and we don't set up a health care exchange and Obamacare survives, the federal government will create the exchange in the state of Missouri. So you'll still have one, it just won't be run by the state.
And you'll still have it, so there will still be benefits available. You will still have this system.
That's the plan.
But right now, the whole planning for the exchanges is so utterly incomplete and inconsistent.
Here, in other states,
no, there's 20 states. There's 20 other states where they're resisting it, including a lot of people are running, like Pence in Indiana is running against it as a.
We should point out also in Kansas, Governor Brownback says he's going to wait until after the election before deciding on a state health exchange in the state of Kansas. But let me ask you this: we hear about this in the presidential race about, we're going to repeal Obamacare, as you point out here, and we're hearing it in our local election races. But really, if Mitt Romney does win the presidency, what would really happen? I mean, he can't singularly, as a president, decide on repealing that. Wouldn't it take a majority of the House and Senate to vote for that, Steve?
Yes, and we'll have to see how the election plays out in terms of how many votes he would have to do that or not, Nick. That would be a big question going forward. He's already signaled he wants to keep certain elements of Obamacare in place, including provisions like, hey, if your kids are up to age 26, they can still stay on their parents' health insurance policy. So yes, it's a big question going forward.
He couldn't repeal it unilaterally, Nick, but he could issue an executive order or tell his Health and Human Services Secretary to simply grant waivers to every state who didn't want to set up a health care exchange. That would not need legislative approval. That would happen, my guess is, in the first week. And so the whole idea of the exchange, at least, would probably collapse in the states where the legislators want it to collapse if Mitt Romney is elected.
Okay. Mary, did you want to comment on this?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
We've covered it.
Let me just say this. Not much is being decided on the Kansas side of state line this election season, but in an unusual move in Johnson County politics, two longtime Republican political leaders who served in the most recent session of the state Senate are endorsing Democrats for state Senate in the November general election. Senator John Vrattle, a Republican from Leawood, and Senator Tim Owens, a Republican from Overland Park, are lending their names to campaign literature as bona fide endorsers of Democratic candidates. What are we to make of this trend, if anything, Jack Cashel?
Not at all unusual.
Okay.
This is politics as usual in Johnson County. Remember the Republicans for More that used to make these ads up every time? These guys, there are moderates and there are rhinos, and there's a distinction. Vrattle and Owens were rhinos, Republicans in name only. There are legitimate moderates in Johnson County. They were not among them. They were essentially driven out of office, and now they're getting their revenge.
Steve?
Well, John Vrattle would take great exception to that. He considers himself a Republican, but it's two things. It's a sign that Republicans still are struggling in some ways with what the direction of their party should be. We're seeing fracturing like Mark Parkinson leaving the Republican Party a few years ago. Having said that, the Brownback wing of the Republican Party in Kansas is very healthy these days, in complete control in Topeka, and no reason to doubt that they aren't going to be running things next year.
Will it have an impact on the election outcomes, Mary?
It might. I somewhat doubt it, though. I wish it was a trend, quite honestly, because I wish that more Republicans would stand up and start saying, we want to retake the party back. We need more of a moderate view. And unfortunately, these, to men, I would applaud them for doing this, but I don't think it's a trend yet.
Yeah, but I hosted a debate out at Johnson County discussion at JCCC this week with Tim Owens, who was defeated in the primary, the state senator. And I asked them point blank, why not run as Democrats? I mean, if you really endorse the Democratic side, be Democrats. They don't want to do that. So I think it's a little more dicey as to whether we should pat guys like John Vrattle on the back. If you really oppose the Republican, be a Democrat, rather than sort of, I want to still be a Republican but be a moderate.
Well, very quickly, Jack.
Here's something I noticed. Law firms, the office in Kansas, they're all Republicans. Same law firm, office in Jackson County, they're all Democrats. They all believe the same thing.
And finally this week, like it or not, to the story that brought more national attention to Kansas City than any other this week.
We're going to turn now to that shocking moment at Sunday's NFL game in Kansas City. Some hometown fans actually cheered when the Chiefs quarterback was knocked flat with an injury, and one of his teammates is fighting back, comparing those hecklers to the crowds at the Coliseum in Rome.
I've never been more embarrassed in my life to play football than in that moment. We got 70,000 people cheering that he got knocked out. I think it's sickening and disgusting. We are not gladiators, and this is not the Roman Coliseum. This is a game.
After all of the fallout from this, did it give us a national black eye to Kansas City, Jack Cashel?
Yeah, certainly on ESPN, which I watch a lot, more than I should. But yeah, they talked about it all week.
Steve?
Yeah, it was a bad moment, but it comes just a couple of weeks after Royals fans stood up and gave Miguel Cabrera of the Tigers standing ovations here at Kauffman Stadium for winning the Triple Crown.
Mary?
I don't think it did long term. I mean, it's just something to talk about.
People cheer all the time when Kraske and I go down, so we're used to it.
All right, and that is our Week in Review. Our thanks to our
now.
news reviewers, Steve Kraske and Mary Sanchez. Thanks for being with us. Dave Helling and Jack Cashel, appreciate you being with us. I'm Nick Haynes from all of us here at KCPT. Thanks for spending part of your weekend with us. Goodbye.